Hello, folks. I am Alan for today's news. I will be reading and speaking about world news, interesting news, news to keep you entertained, and news to keep you informed. What I got for you right here is from AOL. I haven't heard of them in ages. It says First Republic Bank getting bailed out by large banks and $30 billion plan. See, they're trying to help First Republic Bank because they don't want the same thing happen like it happened at the other bank. It says here the First Republic Bank has reached an agreement with some of the largest U.S. banks to stabilize this balance sheet in the aftermath of the Silicon Valley Bank collapse, federal regulators said Thursday. The San Francisco-based bank will receive $30 billion in deposit from 11 banks, according to a joint statement from the Federal Reserve, Treasury Department, and Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. This show of support by a group of large banks is most welcome and demonstrates the resilience of the banking system, they said in a statement. Bank of America, Citigroup, J.P. Morgan, Chase, and Wells Fargo are each depositing $5 billion. The banks announced in a statement. Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley will deposit $2.5 billion each. The actions of America's largest banks reflect their confidence in the country's banking system. The group of 11 banks, together, we are deploying our financial strength into the largest system where it needs the most. So that's 11 different banks helping one other banks, so they don't go belly up like Silicon Valley Bank did. And see what I got for you next here. Everything I read will be in my description box. If you want to read more about it, it helps my search thing. Okay, here's from USA Today. Video of jet dumping fuel on drone shows Russia is flat out lying. Poland to send fighter jets to Ukraine. Live updates. The Pentagon released footage Thursday of what it says is a Russian fighter jet dumping fuel on the U.S. drone, damaging the propeller and forcing U.S. controllers to crash land the device in the Black Sea 2 days ago. And I heard they actually wiped the drone out too, and the Russians is trying to get it now. It says 2 Russian Su-27 aircraft conducted an unsafe and unprofessional intercept with the Air Force reconnaissance MQ-9 Reaper flying in the international airspace. The Pentagon said in a release issue with the video. John Kirby, a spokesman for the National Security Council, said the video provided clear and convincing evidence of the account we laid out there and shows the Russian has been flat out lying. But he says it was not clear that pilot intended to strike the unmanned aircraft. So officials were unable to say it was done on purpose. Let's see. They have a video of it somewhere. No, that's not no video of it. I saw a video of it somewhere, but anyway. Yeah, right here. This is it.
Again, engaged in dangerous, reckless, and unprofessional behavior in the international airspace over the Black Sea.
Maybe it's not. Yeah, it is.
2 Russian jets dumped fuel on an unmanned U.S. MQ-9 aircraft conducting routine operations in international airspace. And 1 Russian jet struck our MQ-9 aircraft, resulting in a crash. This hazardous episode is part of a pattern of aggressive, risky, and unsafe actions by Russian pilots in international airspace. Now, I just got off the phone with my Russian counterpart, Minister Shoigu. As I've said repeatedly, it's important that great powers be models of transparency and communication. And the United States will continue to fly and to operate wherever wherever international law allows.
And that's about the end of that one. And let me go into the next one here now. It says, angry Kim Jong Un, whatever could say it, fires long-range missile at South Korea. Japan mends ties amid nuclear threat from North Korea. North Korea on Thursday fired a long-range ballistic missile as leaders from Japan and South Korea are due to meet in Tokyo for a summit. Is what happened. It's fired at least 10 missiles in the past 2 weeks, 4 this week and at least 6 last week. North Korea Monday fired cruise missile from a submarine and sent short-range ballistic missiles across its territory and to its eastern sea on Tuesday under Kim's supervision. The state media described the event as a simulated attack on an unspecified South Korean airfield and said the army was ready to destroy the enemy after recent drills. Let me see what it says here.
A rare summit, the first bilateral meeting between Seoul and Tokyo in over 12 years. But just hours before the meeting, North Korea fired yet another ballistic missile into the sea. And this is the 5th missile Pyongyang has launched in the last 4 days. After years of frosty ties, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol is flying to Tokyo to meet with the Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. The summit is a part of an effort to move past years of strained relations and disputes on multiple fronts.
See, North Korea don't want them to be friends. They just want enemies. Anyway, here's one from you look like Ukrainian news. Ukraincev Pravda. It says here, hackers find special military operation volunteer who filmed using chemical weapons on Russians. Ukrainian activists from the cyber-resistant organization have found information about Russian who is a special military operation volunteer and a UAV operator who filmed the use of chemical weapons by the Russian army. The details is that, as the National Resistance Center said, this guy became famous when he accidentally showed the use of chemical weapons by the occupying army, namely the dropping of a K-51 grenade from a drone on Ukrainian positions. So here the hackers obtained evidence from Lushan is engaged in the resale of drones that volunteers buy and send back to Donetsk. See what it says here. I ain't playing it all.
Baking Kathleen Montenegro Oasis at the big board with a video on Facebook that purports to show the destruction of Ukrainian military base by Russia. But does it really? Truth or fake, Catalina? Tell us.
The battle for Bakhmut rages on as heavy losses have been reported on both Ukrainian and Russian sides. With this context in mind, this pro-Russian user from the Ivory Coast posted this video from February 25th with over 261,000 views on Facebook, claiming that Bakhmut, that a Russian BMPT Terminator destroyed a Ukrainian army firing position in Bakhmut. This post has also been seen circulating on English social media accounts right here on Facebook, where this user shares the same claim, claiming that a Russian BMPT Terminator obliterates a firing position from Ukraine. A BMPT Terminator, which is known as a Russian armored fighting vehicle. So here's the video where we do in fact see a military base that bursts into fire, into flames, destroyed by what users claim to be a Russian combat vehicle. Mark.
So,
and you can watch the rest of that if you like. Link be in the description box. Here's some from the Washington Examiner. Ethanol industry says it will die if it cannot take farmers' land for a CO2 pipeline. Will Trump support them? It says Iowa ethanol and industry, which exists only because of federal and state subsidy and mandates, reported many collapse if it it may collapse if it cannot build massive statewide networks of pipelines for distribution and buying the carbon dioxide emitted by its ethanol plants. These infrastructure projects will require taking farmers' land through eminent domain. So now they're trying to steal farmers' land just so they can pipe ethanol through. Well, don't they make that out of corn? Now they got to use less corn. It says here, this issue is bubbling up in Iowa politics, and it could even creep into the Republican presidential contest, which is already focusing on Iowa and big ethanol favors. Ethanol is an alcohol fuel made from corn and other plant matters. Its main use in the U.S. is an additive to gasoline. When you fill up your tank in much of America, you are putting in a blend of about 90% gasoline and 10% ethanol. Why do refineries add ethanol to gasoline? Mostly because Uncle Sam forces them to. The federal ethanol mandate, officially the Renewable Fuel Standard, or RFS, officially forces ethanol into our engines. Why would the government do this? To subsidize Iowa agribusiness, which is particularly correct and powerful. You may suspect the ethanol as a plant-based alcohol is an environmental friendly fuel. It is not. Yes, the carbon dioxide emitted by burning ethanol is recaptured by the next crop of corn. But that tailpipe to cornfield carbon balance isn't the only factor. For example, ethanol evaporates much more quickly than gasoline, which is one reason the EPA restricts its summertime use. The Federal Emergency Information Agency writes, these evaporative emissions contribute to the formation of harmful ground-level ozone and smog. Gasoline requires extra processing to reduce evaporative emission before blending with ethanol. Also, the tractors that plant, cultivate, and harvest the corn use fuel, and the factories that turn the corn into grain alcohol give off emissions. The very emissions that the ethanol industry claims it can capture and eventually sequester underground in a liquid form. And you can read the rest of that in my description box if you like. So it's not good for your vehicles, the ethanol. This is from USA Today. Honda recalls $448,000 Accords, CRVs, Odyssey, and more models over faulty seatbelts. So if you got a Honda, check your recalls. Honda is recalling a variety of its recent SUV models and light vehicles because of the driver and front passenger seatbelts may not latch correctly, according to the U.S. National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration report. The seatbelt buckle channel for the driver and passenger seatbelt were manufactured out of specification, causing interference between the buckle channel and the release button. Anyway, it's for these models here: 2017 to 2020, Honda CRV; 2018 to 2019, Honda Accord; 2018 to 2019, Honda Accord Hybrid; 2018 to 2020, Honda Odyssey; 2019 to 2022, Acura RDX; 2019, Honda Insight. So, see what else we got here. This is from Fox News. Border Patrol Chief says DHS doesn't have operational control of the U.S. border. The head of the U.S. Border Patrol on Wednesday told lawmakers the agency does not have operational control of the U.S. southern border, as he also said that immigration levels were at crisis levels in parts of the borders. Let's listen to what they have to say here.
And he is reporting from the border city of Pharr, Texas. I hope I got that right, Bill.
You did, Dana. Good morning to you. According to a spokesperson with the House Homeland Security Committee, prior to the Democrats deciding to pull out of today's border hearing, several of them said they would be here, booked travel here, and even called their own minority witness to testify. And we're told their witness will still be testifying today, even without them. Now, the Republican chairman of the committee, Mark Green, he got here to the Rio Grande Valley yesterday. He posted a video slamming Democrats, saying they will be failing to do their jobs today. Take a look.
What's really sad is that while we're talking about how awesome our Border Patrol people are, the Democrats won't be anywhere near, because you know what? They decided to bail, not even show up for work. This is where the duty is today, and tomorrow they're absent from duty. In the Army, we call that AWOL. The Democrats will be AWOL tomorrow.
In the meantime, bizarre and dangerous human smuggling tactics continue here at our southern border. Take a look at these images out of Border Patrol's Tucson, Arizona sector, where agents stopped a pickup truck and found 3 illegal immigrants literally locked inside of a toolbox, being smuggled inside of that toolbox. Obviously, incredibly dangerous. A U.S. citizen arrested in that incident and will be charged with human smuggling. Then we'll bring you out here to the Rio Grande Valley where we are. Take a look at these images. At Border Patrol's Falfurrias checkpoint, a canine hit on a truck that was lugging a prefabricated pool on top of it. Inside of that pool, agents found 6 illegal immigrants hiding inside of that pool in an effort to be smuggled through the checkpoint. That truck was later reported stolen. And then lastly, we'll take you out to Laredo sector, another bizarre incident. Take a look at these images. Border Patrol agents stopping another vehicle where they found several illegal immigrants hiding inside of clay flower pots in the back of that vehicle. Several of them hiding in those pots, as again, unusual smuggling tactics continue here as migrants will find any way they can to get deeper into this country. And back out here live, this border hearing is set to kick off in a couple hours right here behind me. The first person set to testify is the Chief of U.S. Border Patrol, Raul Ortiz. There are a few people out there who could provide better insight as to what's happening on the ground here at the southern border than the Border Patrol Chief. There will be no
And I heard that they're saying the cartels is probably pushing these people over, going across the border, breaking in. So here, Greenfield up a definition of operation control in the U.S. Code as prevention of all unlawful entries into the United States, including entries of terrorists, other unlawful aliens, instruments of terrorism, narcotics, and other contraband. And I don't know where I read that. I got to start marking these things anyway. Let me go on this one. Okay, it says here from Fox News, DOD spends nearly, this is out on rate 2. DOD spends nearly $50 million a year to do nothing with Trump's border wall material, drawing GOP backlash. Let's listen to this one here.
And he is reporting from the border city of Pharr, Texas. I hope I got that right, Bill.
Good morning to you. According to a spokesperson with the House Homeland Security Committee, prior to the Democrats deciding to pull out of today's border hearing, several of them said they would be here, booked travel here, and even called their...
Never mind, that's a repeat video. Anyway, it says down here, it says there's Republican members of the Senate Armed Forces Committee using details provided to them in a request for information to the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers sent a letter Wednesday evening to the Defense Department asking why nearly $50 million is being spent each year to store the Trump-era border materials. So they're spending $50 million a year just storing them. At present, over 20,000 border wall sections, otherwise known as boulder panels, lie unused at 20 project sites across southern Arizona and New Mexico. Let me go on to the next one. You can read the rest of that in my description box. Now, if you find any voices out of sync, my mic on my computer wasn't too loud, so I'm using my phone, but I want to use my screen recorder so you can see the screen better. This is from MarketWatch. A academic study flags 186 banks vulnerable to run like Silicon Valley. Now they're saying there's 186 banks that could be going under, but they won't tell you the name of the banks because they don't want people to do a run on the banks. I'm not telling you to, but just in case, I'm just letting you know that something may happen. The next one, Washington Examiner. Bay Area regulators approve sweeping ban on gas furnace and water heater sales. Bay Area regulators voted Wednesday to phase out the sale of an installation of natural gas-powered water heaters and furnaces beginning in 2027. One of the most aggressive plans in the country to crack down on gas appliances is an effort to drive down greenhouse gas emissions. The rules, which cleared the Bay Area Air Quality Management District Board by a 20-0 vote Wednesday evening, with one asthmatise will prohibit the sale or installation of gas-powered water heaters in a single-family home beginning in 2027. The rule will apply to gas-powered furnaces in 2029 and large commercial water heaters beginning in 2031. Regulators argued that nearly 2 million gas-powered appliances in homes and buildings in the Bay Area are a major source of pollution in the region. And it says down here, where was it? Switching to zero NOx on electric appliances will cost residents thousands of dollars, according to Air Quality Management District estimates. Switching from a gas-powered furnace to a zero NOx heater will cost a consumer an average of $8,030. They estimate it will be $2,820 to upgrade to zero NOx water heaters. So those people in California they're hurting enough with the bad weather, and now they're going to be charged with a big bill trying to get it, get changed over to electric. I don't know. This world's crazy. California's worse. Anyway, that's all I got to read for you right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe, at least come back and watch once in a while. And thanks for watching. Later.